back to From Here to Homestead. I'm Sarah.
I'm Trevor, and today we're going to be meal prepping and also making homemade ketchup for the first time at my parents' house, hence the change of scenery.
So we're going to be making some chicken noodle soup with homemade stock and a meat and potato bowl with a side of broccoli.
So yeah, we'll walk you through what we're going to be doing, and you get to see us make homemade ketchup for the first time, so stick around.
So we're saving the carrot skins to make stock later on. Same thing with the onion skins and the roots. Okay. So we have our old chicken carcass bones and some carrots, celery, and onion, the peels, and like just the off pieces. Once you cover it with water, you can let it boil for a while, and that's how you make homemade stock. Just when you drain it, don't forget to put the strainer on top of a bowl, because I did that once and I threw it all away.
So the beef that we'll be using today is 100% grass-fed beef. It's the ancestral blend, and it also has beef liver and beef heart in it, good for micronutrients. We get all our meat and all our produce from our local co-op, so yeah, we can get this cooked now.
So this is some potatoes that I chopped up that we're going to use for our meal prep as the base. And it's just going to have some simple garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. I'm going to throw up a little bit of cubed butter in there as well. And this is going with the ground beef for sort of a bowl-like situation with the broccoli. toss them in there and give them a shake once in a while till they're done. So stock's still going on behind me, but while that's taking its time, we're gonna start our homemade ketchup. It calls for 6 cups of tomatoes, but this was all of the fresh tomatoes we had at the co-op that we went to. So maybe we'll just do a half a batch, depends on how much we get. I have a measuring cup right here, but let's get these all chopped up into that bowl. It doesn't really matter how you chop them up because you're gonna be using an immersion blender anyway. Last time I made ketchup was in middle school, so I'm excited to see how this turns out. I'm gonna grab a spatula, keep it there.
So, after we blended it up, we poured it into the saucepan, and we saved the pulp that we can make chili later on.
So, homemade stock is all done. Just gonna strain off the food. And the interesting part is that if you actually eat that vegetable, it tastes like nothing. It's kind of creepy. Because all of the flavor is in the liquid. Generally you want to boil it a lot longer, or simmer it, than we did, but this is good enough for home. So we're going to cut up a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon or so. Get this melted in this pan. And then we're going to throw in our carrot, celery, and onions, and some crushed garlic cloves. And then we're just going to let that go until it's all nice and soft. Toss in the extra stock. Bring that up to the simmer, add in the potatoes to boil off, and that'll be our soup today. We're also almost on to the next step with our ketchup. So we're going to add a half cup of apple cider vinegar into our tomato puree. And then we're also going to add a single bud of clove and some cinnamon and a few other spices, just from a recipe we looked up online. And our chicken noodle soup is coming along good. Onions got nice and caramelized, and now we're just softening the rest of the vegetables before we add in the stock and potatoes.
Got our clove here. Put that in. We got about a teaspoon of onion powder. Now we're going to be adding a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Mix it in. It smells pretty good.
Or are you just smelling the soup?
Both. That dissolved in there. So now we're going to be adding about a 1/8 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We're doing about a teaspoon of salt here. This one. Mix that in. And then finally we'll be doing about a teaspoon of chili powder.
And this is just going to cook for another about 8 minutes.
And then we'll let it cool, and then we will bottle it.
Alright, you guys, we just got finished with all of our meal prep, and we've got our chicken and potato soup. Got some ground beef and potatoes. This is the pulp that we're going to be using for our chili next week, and homemade ketchup. Turned out really good.
For our ketchup, it's more expensive if you make it how we made it, but if you have your own plants, you can easily subvert the cost than if you're just buying it at the grocery store.
Or if you find like a really good deal on the tomatoes. I mean, part of it's also just preference. Like this is made with all natural ingredients, brown sugar, no corn syrup or preservatives. So if that's something that's important to you, it might be worth your time at least to make it. And it's not a very hard process.
Well, have a great day.
Thanks for watching.